Mr. Robert Harvey. Robert Harvey?
The city of Lamarque's criticism policy during the city council meetings violates the First Amendment, and the city is opening itself up for a lawsuit by enforcing it. With that being said, I'm going to be talking about the just left, Joseph Lowry. I'm going to be criticizing him.
Councilman shall immediately cease to hold office. If he shall cease to possess any of these qualifications, be convicted of a felony.
I would caution to use taxpayers' funds to attack somebody politically.
Mr. Lowry, I don't think that that's what anyone's intention is. You said that twice. Just because you said it doesn't make it true. So
welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we'll focus on the ongoing controversy involving Lamarque City Councilman Joseph Lowry. The main point is my public comment at the recent City Council meeting. But before that, I want to highlight some of the city's unconstitutional rules for public speakers. They require people to state their name and address while being live streamed. Also, they prohibit any direct criticism of any council members or the mayor. I challenged these rules and broke them and called out Councilman Lowry, who ended up walking out. Stay tuned to the end where the city council discusses Lowry's alleged criminal history, which he allegedly had expunged, and they decide whether to investigate into that, because if it's true, then he lied on his application to become a councilman. Let's get into the video.
you may approach the podium when your name is called, and again, name, address, and you will be heard. Let's remember that this council is one body, and that we will not allow any personal attacks. Please address the council as a whole, address us as council, and you will be heard. Are there, Kyle, any persons wishing to speak online tonight?
So now you just heard the unconstitutional rules that they impose on anybody before they speak. Now watch what happens when this man who's speaking from online starts discussing a single councilman and redressing his grievances, how they shut him down, and then Joseph Lowry's wife or girlfriend or whatever she is starts screaming and hollering and disrupts the public meeting. Now, this is what I was fully expecting to happen to me during my public comments, so this is very relevant.
If you're wishing to speak online tonight, you may give us your name, address.
Yes, my name's Michael Carlson. I live in Hood River, Oregon.
Welcome, Michael. You may speak, Michael.
Thank you, sir. Reason why I am coming to your council meeting tonight is there is a council member who is very unprofessional, and this person's conduct is unprofessional. They talk down to citizens, including people that don't even live in their district. This person is singling out fellow council members.
Ma'am, 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 ma'am. What we are going to do, he addressed the council, ma'am, I'm presiding, officers, ma'am, I'm gonna, thank you for your comments. I'm gonna speak now. Again, he addressed the council as a whole. He did not, ma'am. He addressed the council as a whole. He did not name any names. He is allowed to say council member. He is allowed to say person, because there are actually five council members up here. The mayor is a council member as well. And so this is our history. This is our tradition. Ever since we've been doing this, we've allowed them to, ma'am, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because we, ma'am, I am presiding over the meeting. This has been, we do this every week. We're going to move on. We do it just like this every week. Okay. He is allowed to say everything other than make an accusation or name a person. Okay. He didn't do that. Let's move on. Mr. Robert Harvey. Robert Harvey, welcome. If you would do me a favor, so that the folks at home can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. Name and address for the record, please.
I'll put my name on that piece of paper. I'm not gonna say my address because you're live on the internet. I'm live on the internet and it's a violation of my constitutional right, Fourth Amendment.
Proceed.
This is a public forum. This is City Hall. I have all the liberties of the First Amendment protecting me right now while I'm speaking here, as long as I'm not making threats or saying fighting words. The city of Lamarque's criticism policy during the city council meetings violates the First Amendment, and the city is opening itself up for a lawsuit by enforcing it. The Supreme Court made it clear that one of the most precious liberties safeguarded by the Bill of Rights is the sacred promise enshrined in the First Amendment that citizens enjoy the freedom to complain about their government leaders. Rosenblatt versus Baird, 1966, Garrison versus Louisiana, 1983. With that being said, I'm going to be talking about that piece of shit that just left, Joseph Lowry. I'm going to be criticizing him. Instead of him taking care of his business and representing his district in a professional manner, he's making dick jokes and calling me Harvey Freeballs on Facebook and embarrassing himself and the city. I have all the screenshots right here. He called me a baby crackhead. Joseph Lowry, by saying I'm a baby, shows you have a clear disregard for the truth. I've never engaged in any of these behaviors you described. The video he's referring to clearly shows that I was attacked and I pepper sprayed the man that attacked me. The police investigated and arrested the man who attacked me. So I guess he's saying the police didn't do their job right, when normally he says the police can do no wrong. He is very biased and unfit to hold office. His statement shows intent to damage my reputation regardless of the truth, which is why I'm suing him. My lawyers have been, all this has been turned over to my lawyer. Here's another one of his posts. I would sue you, but you live in an RV and you don't have any money. Then he posted my address all over Facebook. Then he posted my landlord's address, my former landlord in Fort Worth. She's a sweet, nice old lady. He posted her address all over Facebook. This guy's a piece of shit. He's a coward that he didn't sit in here while I come up here. He says I'm a multiple time convicted felon in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, and I have stalker charges in Dallas. I was charged with stalking for recording a cop in Dallas, and it was dismissed. He has a lot of room to talk. He's an alleged meth cook with a criminal record a mile long. I've had one felony in my whole life. I was illegally searched and my wife's prescription medication was found on me. That's the only felony I have. He says right here, Jailbird, you're spineless. You're a fraud. Harvey, how badass are you? I'll whip your ass. Mutual combat is legal in Texas. If you got balls, say when, boy. And then he says, thug life. What a piece of shit, man. How you guys got this guy as a city councilman? Get a job, Harvey Freeballs. He says, stop ripping off the taxpayers. I asked him, I said, dude, why are you looking up my criminal history? He said it was sent to me by out-of-state law enforcement because they seen you attack me in my department. I have a lot more, man. 3 minutes ain't even enough to cover this.
We're giving everyone 3 minutes,
I
Gus,
get it,
unless you advise me to do anything different.
I really felt like they should have let me finish saying what I was saying, since I spent over half of my time laying out the actual laws and informing them that they are breaking the law and they are opening themselves up for a lawsuit if they enforce it. That's okay. That just means I'll have to go back to the next city council meeting and finish. I feel like since I laid down the law, it gave this citizen confidence to call out Joseph Lowry also, and the city did not shut him down. They let him finish, which I've watched every city council meeting for the last 2 months. They would have never let this guy keep going until after I laid down the law in this meeting.
Slanderous information about me. That news site editor, Joseph Lowry, went on to say that I done business with the EDC of Lamarque. And I stole approximately $70,000 in EDC funds. So at this time, I will be requesting a meeting with your city manager and also your city council for some sort of financial settlement because it has caused harm to my business.
Okay, public comments are over. They went into executive session and now they're back on the record. This is where they're going to be discussing the allegations that Joseph Lowry is a convicted felon and he had his record expunged.
Section 2.04, qualifications. Councilmen shall be qualified voters of the state of Texas, hold no other public office, be and have been a resident of the city of an annexed area for at least 1 year immediately preceding the election. A councilman shall immediately cease to hold office. If he shall cease to possess any of these qualifications, be convicted of a felony, or as otherwise provided by this charter. Section 2.05, council to be judge of qualifications of its members. The city council shall be the judge of the election and qualifications of its members. For this purpose, it shall have power to subpoena witnesses and require records to be produced. The decision of the city council in any such case shall be subject to review by the courts. And while I have asked the question about Councilman Lowry being a convicted felon, he said he is not. I am going to request that, Mayor, we get that this council look into getting those records. I think we need clarification. I, for one, have been receiving questions about it. I think it's a question that needs to be answered so we can let this rest and move forward. But I do want to let this council know that it's in our charter about the qualifications, and also that we are the judge of our members, and that we can subpoena records to be produced so we can put this issue in our community at rest and go forward.
Yes, ma'am. Any responses?
Yeah,
Mr.
I'd
Lowry,
like to
did you want to
respond.
respond?
All right, hold.
Let
if
you
I
go
may,
ahead. All right.
Just before we get into it, I would remind council that someone's eligibility or qualifications or a subpoena of records is not on the agenda. So as council chooses to discuss or not, I would ask you to please be cognizant of that fact.
I will ask you, Gus, to guide us and be very assertive in that so that we don't get off task. Thank you, sir. Ms. Lowry, did you want to respond?
Yes, I am not a convicted felon, and it has already been brought to the district attorney's office. And if you would like to make more complaints, you're more than welcome to. I would advise council to not use taxpayers' money to attempt to politically assassinate somebody. So I would caution elected officials to instruct the city attorney to use taxpayers' funds to attack a political opponent or adversary. But to answer your question, no, I am not a convicted felon, and you are more than welcome to contact the district attorney's office or Police Chief Randall Aragon.
Okay, we don't need to be running people's records at council meetings.
Gus, what we were discussing in the back was the idea of how we go about answering a question on whether or not a person who has been convicted of a felony has eligibility to hold office. It's different, I know, in different states. So could you elaborate on that?
I would say that if council wants to discuss that, I would ask that it be put on an agenda for future
Okay.
discussion.
Okay, that's very good. Council, we've heard our city attorney. Do we have any parting shots? We're not going to discuss this in any deep manner tonight. If it's worth discussing, someone will put it on the next agenda to discuss. Outside of that, any deep burning sensations about this item?
I would caution to use taxpayers' funds to attack somebody politically.
Mr. Lowry, I don't think that that's what anyone's intention is. You said that twice. Just because you said it doesn't make it true. So we're going to just leave it at that. We need to
Well, there was
stop.
a comment.
Yeah,
to
I get it.
where
No,
city attorney was instructed.
Yep, we're not
to
going to do that,
reach out
Mr.
to
Lowry.
the,
Mr.
Attorney
Lowry.
General.
And we
So
just,
let's be truthful.
Mr. Lowry. Okay, I'll let you talk. Go.
So you have instructed, or he was instructed, our city attorney was instructed to reach out to the Attorney General. So you are using taxpayers' resources to attack a political adversary. So remember that.
If I may, Mayor, I have not been instructed to do anything, and just now I asked council to, if they wish to discuss it further, my ask was to put it on a future agenda.
That's what you
Thank
said
you.
out here. It's different in the back.
Continue, Mr. Lowry, continue to speak. We're
Go
listening.
ahead.
We're listening. No,
I mean,
we
it's
want to
really
listen to
simple. You
you.
can contact the DA's office. We can all go down there and have a luncheon or something if you'd like.
Yeah.
Can I have 2 seconds here?
Hold on just a minute. Are you done speaking? You have the floor,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ross.
So with the further information, looking into everything that I've done, the Attorney General was,
All right, all right. I, not to cut you off, council member, but this item is not on the agenda.
Roger that.
What we will say again is that is a false statement Mr. Lowry made. Again, what we can do, once this item is on the agenda, any council can seek clarification from an attorney general. That's what councils do. And so we'll just move on from that. Ms. Yancey, did you have a motion? Did anyone have a motion on this second?
That we table this until further direction after the discussion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Very good. We are now at item 12, requests and announcements.